You've given the geometry semester exam review and now you're ready to score it. Well, the first thing you want to do is look at your students' responses. Right now, my form is set to view the questions. I'm going to toggle over and I'm going to view the responses instead. I've only done this form one time. There's my score. I just clicked through it really fast. This is Google's auto scoring, by the way. It only scores multiple choice and checkbox questions. It doesn't score the free response, the open-ended, or the matching. So that's partly why this score is lower than it ought to be. But what I want to do to get to score all of the questions is create a spreadsheet and use the Flubaroo add-on to grade it. So click on this icon over here that says Create Spreadsheet. I'm going to create a new spreadsheet, and Google is automatically going to create this in your Drive for you. And then once you have your spreadsheet, we're going to go get the add-on Flubaroo that is going to grade this for us. I'm actually going to use another spreadsheet that I've already prepared that has 3 submissions on it. That way it'll be a little bit more interesting. So the first thing you want to do is go up to add-ons. And I already have Flubaroo installed, but you're probably going to need to install Flubaroo. So click on the Get Add-ons button if you don't see Flubaroo already there. And Google's going to automatically pull up all the add-ons for us. So type in Flubaroo in the search bar. And there it is. Click on Get Flubaroo, and then when you come back to your spreadsheet and go to add-ons, you're going to see the Flubaroo option here. So let's go ahead and enable Flubaroo in this sheet. It is now enabled. Click here for instructions. I'm going to go back to the spreadsheet because I've already read those instructions. So now that we've enabled it, it's ready to go. Go ahead, go back to add-ons and then Flubaroo, and let's grade this assignment. So Flubaroo is now looking at all of my questions, and it has figured out that the email address question identifies the student. The score, this is actually the column for Google's auto scoring. I'm going to say that that identifies the student. I don't want to grade that. That's the score that Google auto scoring gave them. It's not the correct score because it didn't grade the matching questions or the open-ended response. So I'm just going to leave that alone. The first name identifies the student. The last name and the class period identify the student. Now here's where the grading begins with my questions. I want all of these to be worth the same amount of points. So they're all going to be worth 1 point. And they're all going to be normal grading. Of course, you can change that if you want to. Maybe you want to grade a couple of them by hand. I'm okay with grading all of these with normal grading, though. So that looks good to me, so I'm going to continue. So my next step is to choose which one of the submissions is 100% correct. Well, I created a submission to this test form that was 100% correct. You can see it right here. I made the first time that I did this test, I entered my first name as test and my last name as key, and I created a test key here. This has all of the correct answers in it, and Flubaroo can use that to grade all of the other submissions relative to that one. So I'm going to choose that one. Everything else is going to be graded against that. Here it goes. It takes a minute. All right, and here's the other submissions. So it looks like Billy Bob got a 45, and Elizabeth Johnson got a 93. I missed some of my own questions. Here's all the grades. You can also see we have an item analysis. You can see which questions the class did well on and which ones they struggled. And that's the Flubaroo add-on.